Now we got ourselves some good old delicious nectar. How about we go into ourselves a Laia format for the very first time? First time actually fighting it on the defense. And hey, what could possibly go wrong? Well, let's go on ahead and break it down. So we have Laia, then we have Choux, and then we also have a Navy Captain Landy. So the big thing in particular hasn't actually happened yet. Matter of fact, here it fucking comes. So the first thing that I wasn't really taking account of was just how fucking damaging that turn 1 from Laia really is, where she boosts the entire team up. Case in point, everything else is about to lap MLK for the first time, and he still hasn't taken his first turn yet. Also, the Landy is straight up hyper awake and on a fuck ton of Adderall and is doing all the salvos in the fucking goddamn world. And it's really, really starting to add up. So basically, every hit going in, because right here, this one attack and this one pull that then gets MLK to attack into Navy Captain Landy and getting that provoke, if that did not fucking happen, right there, we would have been fucked because of the sheer amount of Elbrus fucking horseshit that is happening. Unbound Knight Arowell's almost fucking dead. And finally, we still haven't taken a turn with MLK, but Navy Captain Landy's now down. Now, I am pretty much reserved in my thoughts of, okay, I could kill the Choux right now, but like I know like MLK's turn's going to come up, his S3 will go in, and then we'll just straight up kill everything anyway. So, cool. But now all we have left is Laia. And right there, we didn't crit because LOL crit resist, and we don't have max crit on MLK, so hey, what can you do? And it's been enough turns, the Laia's gone in enough times, there comes a death. So, everything that we're really doing right now, it does work out in our favor, because we also eventually get off our first horse onto Laia. This does not miss, so it does max damage pretty much. Well, almost max damage, it's almost 20k. And pretty much the next turn that I really even get with MLK, which is going to be the very next turn right here, then we can soul burn that, guarantee a crit, and then we will kill it. So, first time going into Laia. Yeah, this shit fucking sucks, dog. But either way, going into our next team right here. So, it's a Conqueror Lilias, a Abyssal Yufine, and who else was it? And a Senya. So, what I thought to go ahead and go into this was, okay, we'll go in with Moon Bunny. Moon Bunny will do our first, our turn 1 counters to the Conqueror Lilias. This is going to give us our skill nulls and our immunity. We'll go in with S3, give ourselves attack buffs, so my Briar Witch should be doing damage. Now, hopefully, we'll hit Death Down on the Abyssal Yufine. And we hit every fucking thing else, but the goddamn Abyssal Yufine! So, like, right here, I'm already a little bit miffed. Because I feel like, oh, okay, so we're probably fucked. But the good news is, enough AoEs really go in through Lone Crescent Bellona. We decide, hey, we have to. We have no other options. We can go into the other 2 units and kill them, but it's not going to fucking help us in the slightest. Let's see if we kill her. We don't kill Abyssal Yufine. We then confirm she's on lifesteal right here. We go in with another additional attack because we were hit with an AoE. We do enough damage to kill the other 2 units, and then, thank fucking Christ, Briar Witch's turn was next. So even if we didn't kill with Moon Bunny right there, Briar Witch would have finished the job. Fuck, that bitch gives me anxiety. But anyway, so now let's go ahead and go into something that I knew was going to be painful. I knew this shit was going to hurt. Because you're dealing with a turn 1 Moon Bunny on turn 1. That's going to give attack buff to everything on the field. And straight up, we just took an absurd amount of damage from a Sword of Cycling Seasons Savior Adin on turn 1. Now, I took into account that this is probably going to be a Sword of Cycling Seasons. Sure, I don't see it all too often, but it is a mono-light team, and a lot of times when you see mono-light, sometimes people like to think, hey, I'll bring in a dark unit, I'll provide protection of some kind with it, and I should be able to tank everything hunky-dory. And that's essentially exactly what I did. So, to those of you who are paying attention, that Savior Adin did a fuckload of damage, and is still doing somewhere in the 4k regions of damage to my Shadow Knight Pyllis while I have Death Buff. Now, thankfully for us, we get the dual attack there, but it really doesn't actually matter because we were able to weather the first bit of the storm. If you're able to weather the first bit of, like, the next level fucking ass-kicking that you're going to be taking at the very start, then you should be good for the rest of the fight. But basically what we have here is we have Roana, we have Shadow Knight Pyllis, and we have Eaton. Now, the reason why we're using Eaton is 2 reasons, really. One, Unbound Knight Arowell is dead, so we can't use Unbound Knight Arowell. But 2, the other thing is, we're not really going into excessive debuffs. So we're not really going into shit that's going to like be really, really imperative, doing lots of bad things to us in terms of debuffs, you know, shit like that. So it doesn't actually matter to really have Unbound Knight Arowell with us, because she's my really, really big escort user who tanks damage and has effect resist. So yeah, we'll just use a big, thick, honky motherfucker Eaton himself, because Eaton, honestly, when you see near the end, he doesn't even really have great gear. It really isn't. It's not fucking great. Basically, the only thing he has is he just has throwaway shit that has the highest levels of HP possible, and whatever defense I was able to get a hold of. That's all he's got. It's fucking trash. You'll see it at the end. But basically, I also have him with Adamant Shield. And with Adamant Shield, as well as just, you know, the escort damage going in, we're able to tank literally fucking everything that this team throws at us. Be it the Savior Aiden, who in my honest opinion was a bigger threat than the Navy Captain Landy. But right here, after we've already killed everything else in the field, because, you know, Shadow Knight Rocket Punch Pyllis is easily the stupidest fucking artifact in the game, the mere fact that we still do not have an actual answer, like as in another artifact that can replace Rocket Punch, because Rocket Punch is a fucking collab artifact. Collab artifacts quite literally do not exist. They just don't. And because it's ASPA, you never fucking know when that shit's ever going to come back. Which is even doubly fucking surprising, because that was probably one of the most, like, profitable, or, like, the most money was put into in terms of collab-related events. Like, it had a whole lot of fucking production value to it, and we're probably never gonna get it again. Why? Fuck, I don't know. Korean politics, I assume. I don't fucking get it. But either way, point being, we need another artifact that does the exact same shit as Rocket Punch. Because if you don't have Rocket Punch, you straight up can't do this. Period. Because this shit right here, you see, like, all of that HP that Navy Captain Landy is able to recover just from a single salvo? Now, let's just say we were unlucky enough to proc a counter salvo on every single situation. We would be doing so minimal amounts of damage, we would probably be here for, like, another 30 or even 40 turns with Rocket Punch to be able to just break through that wall if she was able to get that many salvos off. Kind of fucking dumb. But either way, now that we've gotten through some, like, next-level stupid shit, let's go ahead and talk about, you know, the Lilias, Senya, and Rand shenanigans. Oh, noes, did you see that? I saw an RNL. Guys, I'm really scared! But the good news is, this team has proven itself time and time and time again to be extraordinarily consistent. And the only times that I've ever really seen a fail is whenever there is an unwanted dual attack, or there is a 2311, which 2311 has actually not happened yet. So basically, here's what rolls down. Rand goes in, does his shit. Now there's 2 things that you can take into account of. If it's a real Rand that does damage, okay, cool, he just does damage. But we also have Silvertide Christy with us, who's going to be providing at least 100 or so ER to our Lone Crescent Bellona, who already has just a little bit of ER. Because of that, we do not have to worry about any effectiveness-based Rands. So then you're safe from Death Break. Now, if you're dealing with a damage-based Rand who doesn't have any effectiveness whatsoever, you're covered on that front as well. Now, like I was saying before, what if it's an effectiveness Rand? Okay, cool. You still are, like, let's say everybody gets hit with Death Break and shit like that on turn 1. The worst thing that can possibly happen is if the team is speed-tuned well enough and the Lilias is faster than usual and also is on the EE where she's going to jump up on the CR bar, and let's say the Senya is also fast as fuck, the worst thing that can happen in that situation is everybody's affected by Death Down and shit, and then they still manage to go before your Elena is able to cleanse. That's quite literally the worst case scenario. So the only thing that can really stop you on this team is absurd luck, 2311, or like RNL, stuff like that, or if they're just faster than you and they're able to get the cleave off and you're not able to cleanse in time, because that's what Elena does. And hey, looky there, we're done. Now, this team. This is actually not the best form of, like, answer that you're really going to have. So instead of just talking about, like, what's optimal for it, for example, if the Senya was fast, whatever, I could have easily been cleaved right here. Because our damage mitigation that we're really getting, it's not enough to really be a factor. But, like, hey, let's not talk about the what-ifs of, like, what would have happened if the Senya was faster and then we'd get cleaved, whatever. Let's actually talk about the proof of concept that's going to be Little Queen Charlotte in the next few fucking weeks when she gets buffed. The only reason why this comp even works is because we have Sinful Angelica with us, who then, whenever we killed that Abyssal Yufine with Little Queen Charlotte there, she wasn't able to come back with Holy Sack. Now, the reason I bring this up is because Little Queen Charlotte is going to be getting buffed very, very soon. And that buff is actually probably going to be pretty fucking big. The reason why it's going to be pretty big is we won't have to do shit that involves Briar, Iseria, or Sinful Angelica anymore because their S3 will actually deal extinction damage now. That's pretty fucking big, especially considering how Abyssal Yufine is kind of fucking cancer right now. So, hey, that's a W in my book. And then I'm also thinking about maybe perhaps putting her on a destruction set with a pen set and Benimar's Taichi because that's fucking fair. But anyway, moving on to the next team, this is also really, really simple. I've dealt with shit like this in the past where it's like literally, hey, there's only one unit on the field that actually does damage. It's Navy Captain Landy. Okay, we'll bring Mediator Kawerik. He's on Warhorn and he's on his imprint release. That's a fuckload of attack. We'll have auxiliary lots on imprint release, also giving attack buff on turn 1. My Arunka has so much goddamn attack right now. There ain't no fucking way any of you are going to survive this shit if you have a barrier on turn 1. There's just no fucking way. So, we go into her, we kill. Now, right there where there was a delay a little bit in what I was deciding to do, I was deciding to either S2 or if I was going to S3. I decided to S3 because just in case the Pyllis was going to go into whatever unit, I didn't know who she was going to hit. Now, here was a unit where it's like, hey, it's either going to be a Mediator Kawerik or it's going to be auxiliary lots, and that's where I figured the attack buff and immunity was going to be the best option to pick, because if I am attacked on my Arunka and I don't have immunity, and then, you know, she can't go in and do her things, because quite frankly, the match was not won yet. We could have actually been farmed by Shadow Knight Pyllis if we weren't able to get the kills off that we did. But because we did, and we just go into the barrier units as accordingly, they fucking dead, boys! And ladies and gentlemen, that is the Guild War. Fun, huh? But either way, for that last match where I was really going in, where it was the two Charlottes, I didn't finish talking everything about that. So the other reason why Red Charlotte was there was mainly just to deal with Senya. So Little Queen Charlotte was there strictly to deal with Abyssal Yufine. So that means, like, in the future fighting a team like that, if you had a means of using something that was really, really fast, like, say, Carmen, for example, like, you know, Crimson Armin, and you have her just, like, herp-a-derp retard fast, and then you just go in, give everything immortality, and let's say you have Benimaru Taichi and a crit destruction set and, like, a pen set on your Little Queen Charlotte. Okay, cool. Little Queen Charlottes are gonna fucking kill Abyssal Yufine 100% every fucking time. Just no fucking way you're surviving that shit. And then straight up Red Charlotte, if you survive the initial cleave, which if you go in with like a really fast Carmen, yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't survive it. Yeah, that pretty much will make that team work 100% of the time, and then you won't need something like Senji to really set it up. Or you won't need Briar Witch to even be on the field to prevent any and all of the Holy Sack shenanigans. So, that's pretty much what I was trying to get out on that. But, like, I couldn't think of anything in particular at that particular moment to really use. You know me, I don't really have a lot of fast shit. You know, the whole process of finding fast gear is kind of a pain in the ass. And like I was saying before about my Eaton, yeah, look at that fucking garbage-ass gear. The only reason why it's even there is just because of the absurd fucking HP values that Eaton actually provides. Yeah, fun shit right there. But yeah, either way, that was pretty much like everything that there is to show in here, and not much else to really talk about other than the fact that the meta sucks. The meta fucking sucks ass right now. Like, a lot of these matches are not fun to play against, and I'm only hoping that the balance patches that are going to be coming through do fucking something to alleviate some of this pressure, because playing RNG sucks, playing against RNG sucks. The game fucking sucks right now. But either way, if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you want to see more of my content, go ahead and hit subscribe. Maybe I'll be a little bit better on the next one, or whatever.